Hi, this is Hugh from the Mini and BMW specialist now. Welcome back. I've just bought this Mini Cooper S. It's done 57,000 miles on an 06 and it's incredibly clean. I mean, the bodywork is virtually unmarked. There's one or two minor things here and there. New tyres all round. And I paid just 450 quid for it. And why so cheap? Well, the reality is it's got some engine problems. But the bodywork is great. The only thing that really puts me off a little bit is its poverty spec. And by that I mean it doesn't have a chili pack, so it doesn't have xenons. And it doesn't have the lower fog lights. Not that that's a big thing really. But the thing is, in terms of how it looks like a really nice clean car. It will do when it's actually been washed. Okay. Zero compression on number one. Compression on number two. Okay. Zero compression number two. This is number 3 cylinder. And now this is compression on number 4. Okay. No compression on number 4 either. I've lost compression on number 1, 2 and 3, which is a bit odd to be honest, because you normally expect losing compression between 2 cylinders together. But what we're going to do is we're going to rip the head off and we're going to get that repaired or replaced. So that's what we're going to do next. Right, so now we are in front end service mode and we can start seeing what we're dealing with. There's a lot of oil on this engine, which is not surprising to be honest. 19-year-old car, and that oil filter housing there is the culprit, but we'll get to that. We'll clean it all. We'll also replace the oil drain and the oil feed pipe. No, it's not surprising really, but this has all been up before, look, and not put back right, but we will put it back right. Just check the oil on the car and it's dry. So we may have a bigger problem than we thought. There is some, very black. Stop. Okay, so there's not much oil coming out. Let's just see how much there is, because I'm worried. Yeah, there's virtually 4.2 litres empty to full on this car. And I'd say there's a litre at max. No. What's that? 1.3 litres. Right, so we've now got the turbo off and the cat. You can see the extent of the oil leak down here, but that's perfectly normal to be honest. We will replace those gaskets, and now we're looking at the rock, with the rock cover removed, looking at the chain. The chain doesn't look too bad to be honest. I mean, I know it's 57,000 miles, but I'd expect that to be darker. So it's possible it's been replaced. We'll replace it anyway. We're going to do it regardless. So that's where we are. So we now have the head off. And pistons look okay, but I would say that this looks like the valves have hit the pistons. And that might explain our lack of compression. So if we go to the head itself, we've got bent valves. They're proud and they're closed there and not there. So we've got bent valves on this head. Interesting. And why? I mean, good question. This is the tensioner and it's clearly seen better days. That's dead. This is what it should look like. So it's gone well beyond its tolerance. So if the timing has gone out because the chain is basically going so long, that could explain our bent valves. But we've also got a very badly fatigued crossover pipe. This is the new one, and if you look at the end of that, it's actually got rubber on it and a lip. Well, that one has broken, and those bits were still in the water pump actually. So these bits here were left in the water pump there. So that isn't great. That would have leaked water, and we did have a water loss as well. The other thing is we've got a lot of aluminium oxide. So this car didn't have any antifreeze in it. So there's a lot of aluminium oxide in there, but also in the water jackets around here is pretty nasty. So not the end of the world. I mean, I have cleaned quite a lot out already off camera. I'm now going to take the chain out. We'll clean everything up and put the fresh head on. I'll take the oil filter housing off. I've got a new one of these to put on. We've got new gaskets for the oil filter housing. Which are these? whenever we do a rebuild on these cars, we always change these. They're difficult to get to, and right now we've got good access. So you've got to get the whole front of the car off to get to this. So it would be a wasted opportunity not to change these. The other thing on this car, which is actually pretty bad, is the corrosion on the subframe. This part will come off and we'll replace that, and I'll wire brush off the rest of it. So these bars here, both sides, seen better days. So we need to find a new pair of those at least. Just taking these crash bars off. This one's practically disintegrated. The main subframe's good though, or at least salvageable. So when that's repainted, I'm sure it'll be fine. The passenger side one actually is okay as well. Looks worse perhaps than it really is. We'll blast that off. So I do have another head. So this one's already been reconditioned. All the valves have been removed and then reseated, valve stem seals replaced, pressure tested, and obviously cleaned. So that, I'm going to take the ancillaries off this one and put it on this one, and then we'll build the car straight back up. Probably get it run today. Another thing we always do on our rebuilds is this replace this gasket on the vacuum pump. Now that has just gone rock hard. So I buy them by the 20, you know, by the score, just so that we can do this. Always got them handy, and that'll leak. If I put that back on the engine, that's gone flat. So now we're doing our oil filter housing. So this is my rebuild table, and I had this made. I'd like to say I designed it, but actually I didn't. I copied it. But it's got a drain in the middle here, a tray to be able to remove all the whatever you drain out of there. So sitting underneath the car now, I'm going to remove all this, clean it all off, and I'm not going to make a dirty great mess on my floor. Well, this is where my rebuild table comes into its own. It's a messy old job, this. We do have some contamination in here, don't we? That's actually pretty horrible. I'll give it a good clean anyway. Right, so as you can see, that's a lot cleaner. The only downside is that, well, I'm kind of wearing most of it. Yeah, as you can see, I'm wearing most of that. I'm actually on Match, the dating site. I've actually failed to mention that my cologne is unleaded, but there you are. So the engine block is now clean, but this is really pretty bad. So that is aluminium oxide. That's what happens if you don't put antifreeze in your car. If you don't know this, antifreeze has got two purposes. One is, of course, to stop it freezing. The other one is stop it corroding. Now the other thing is, somebody's been in here before and just used silicone sealant. It doesn't work, guys. It's just maybe for a short time, but it just doesn't work. These rubbers, they're so flat, they're not doing any good anymore. And I take them out, I bet you they'll be so hard. Yeah, look at this one. So it's no longer, I mean, it is technically rubber, but it doesn't really have the properties of rubber anymore. It's not doing its job. Oil filter housing area is all back together and all very clean, and that's great. Coming around to this side now, I need to strip this area to get the cam chain out, and also I'll give it a good clean as well. So that means taking the tensioner off, the auxiliary belt off. This auxiliary belt's seen better days, it's cracked. So we're getting the auxiliary belt as well. So now we're exposing the timing side here, and we've got a lot of corrosion here. It's not terrible, I mean this is aluminium, but I'm going to change the water pump. I've just got a feeling that it'd be a good idea. And we're in here anyway, aren't we? So what's another 50 quid, eh? Yeah, looking at this, it's probably a good idea. That's weeping. And for a while too. Let's get it changed. Right, so the chain's about to come out. So I've taken out the pins, the old seal. We always replace that. I will give this a clean off, but we'll get a new pump. It's just, this will be a top-end rebuild on this car. It'll be hopefully worth it, because I think, as I said, it's so clean and tidy. It's 19 years old though. Do you know what? I'm really like this. I'm going to probably keep it for a while. It's such a tidy example, and it's one of the first R56s that hit the road. So I'm just going to take the chain out, and actually, that's not good news. That broken bit there means we've got to take the sump off, because that will be blocking the scavenger pump. Right, we've now got the new head on. The new chain is in, obviously not quite fitted properly yet, but it's nearly there. The sump's been dropped, everything's been cleaned out of that, so this is now transformed. We're now looking at a much improved engine. It's all coming together now. So water pump is on, new auxiliary belt is on. So the chain is on as well. That's all looking very good. Still quite a lot to do though. Right, we've got it done, guys. This is now a nice running engine. Let me start it for you. Well, that car came in as a non-runner with 8 bent valves, and now I'm really pleased with that. So this is my finished car. Look how tidy it is. 19 years old. And that is just I'm so pleased with this. I mean, obviously we bought it nice and cheap, had to do quite a lot of work to it, but the net result, that's a really nice little car, that is. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, it does help the channel.